What entrepreneurs can learn from a mafia mob boss. Now, if you've never heard of Michael Franzese, he is an absolute boss. Figuratively and literally, he was a member of what is known as the Colombo crime family in New York during the 1970s all the way through to the 1990s. Now, to put this in perspective of how much of an earner he was earning at one point in between $6 to $8 million every single week. And because of that, he was named one of the biggest earners the Mafia had ever seen since the legendary Al Capone. Now, let me just say that again. $6 to $8 million per week. That is in between $312 to $416 million a year. Nearly $500 million. How crazy is that? And after beating 4 to 5 indictments by the FBI, he finally accepted a plea deal with the government to serve a 10-year prison sentence in 1986. And since his release, he retired from the mob and started a whole new life. He now is a motivational speaker, author and influencer, and now is dedicated to educating people about reforming their lives, but also gives businessmen insights to how he rose to the position of a captain, also known as a capo regime, in the Colombo crime family, and the strategies he used to get to the point of bringing of nearly $8 million a week. Now, I first discovered him on an interview on the entrepreneurship channel Valuetainment, which is one of the most fascinating interviews I've ever watched. Trust me, you know them films or TV shows that you watch that you don't wish to end? Yeah, it's one of them ones, so I highly recommend to go check that out. And after watching this, I kinda became a bit of a fanboy, so you probably can understand how gassed I was when I got the chance to meet him face to face. Yeah, I know you can't see my face, I'm not comfortable to put my face out there like that yet, but that's a story for another day. But let me tell you, it was an amazing experience, and I'll never forget the conversation that me and Michael had. Now, like usual, this is an entrepreneurship channel. I'm not going to dive in too much about his life story, as there are many interviews out there that have and will do a way better job than I ever would telling this man's story. So if you are interested in more of his life story, go check out his interviews. But what I am going to do is dissect the strategies and philosophies that he used to rise up in the Colombo crime family. Now, I know some people may say, Aaron, you like to cover drug dealers and criminals, don't you? And the response I'd say back to that is, yes I do, because yes, even though I don't condone the life of crime, the things that we can learn from these types of people are priceless. Your business uni lecturer, who's probably never built a business before in his life, will never cover shit like this, when in reality, the stuff that we can learn from these types of people is way more applicable in the world of business than any information you will learn in a business degree. Organised crime rackets exceed nearly $50 billion in the US. That is greater than all the US iron, steel, copper and aluminium manufacturing combined. And as we can see from that number, there has to be some sort of entrepreneurial skills that we can take away from that. And we can only learn these street sense strategies in one of two ways. By either being a criminal, which I strongly don't advise, or by extracting golden knowledge from these people and implementing it into our own entrepreneurial and legal business endeavors. And that's why I like to cover them. And also because I am a bit of a fanboy, but besides that, let's dive straight into it. What I'm going to be using as reference is Michael's book, I'll Make You an Offer You Can't Refuse. Insider tips from a former mob boss. And I'm going to create a series based on the principles in this book, chapter by chapter. Because I've seen a few comments of how some people want me to go into more depth with stuff like this. And that's no problem. It just means that I'll have to create a video series and spread it over a couple of videos, instead of trying to cover all the ideas in one video, which I'm perfectly happy with, by the way. So let's get into it. The section that we're going to cover in this video is nailing down the basics. Now, if we were to ask a mobster to describe his operating plan for his business, he would give us a smirk and say, to make money, what do you think? And by the way guys, you're going to have to deal with my terrible Italian New York accent in this video. and if we ask him how he intends to do that, he probably will say in response, what do you mean? Of course, I'm going to take your fucking money. And mob guys have this philosophy that all money in another person's pocket belongs to them. And their business plan is simple, to figure out how to take money from someone else's pocket and put it into their pocket. Now, this isn't the most extravagant business plan ever created, but it's better than having no business plan. And this is the first point Michael makes in the book. Get your plan right. In order to generate revenues and profits for your company, you need to figure out exactly how to do that. You're never going to go anywhere in business if you don't have a plan. A clear plan of what you plan to do, what your goals are, and how you're going to measure your progress. A plan based on a simple organizing principle and purpose. And by having a clear, focused, written plan for your business, it helps you keep track of the direction you want your business to take. And by having measurable and specific goals, this can help determine and guide you to get to the goal of generating profits. You must define the ultimate goals of your business in advance and refer to them as you progress. Now, this doesn't mean you can't change and be flexible with it as you progress, especially when shit hits the fan, but if your plan is a good solid plan to begin with and you stick to it, then you'll ride out the bad times and be in a good place when you emerge on the other side. Bad business plans are usually caused by bad ideas, and this most likely will lead to a failed business. So once you have your business plan down, review it. Does it make sense? Is it realistically doable and achievable? And if it doesn't make sense in theory, there's a very high chance that it won't work in the real world. Kill it and move on to another one. It's actually better to have no business plan than a bad business plan. And this leads us to the second point. Don't get killed in your pajamas. Once you have a plan, work it and work it hard. Michael tells a story of how in his early days in the mob, he overheard his boss's conversation with somebody about a guy who was a member of another family who got killed the day before. Apparently, the guy was shot and killed by two men as he walked outside of his house to get something from his car. It was reported that he was wearing his pajamas. And after hearing the story, the boss's response to it was, "But what the hell was he doing in his pajamas? He got whacked at 11 o'clock in the morning." And from that day on, Michael never bought a pair of pajamas again. The point the boss was making was, it was 11 o'clock in the morning. This guy should have been out on the street and working by then, not strutting around in his pajamas. Michael mentions how no matter what, whether he was out partying till late or if he was at one of his nightclubs that he owned, he always would be up at the crack of dawn. And all the successful mobsters that he knew were up at these times too. There's no magic formula in business. The only thing that is common with successful people is one thing: hard work. People who succeed in business do not plan their day around what's easy and convenient. They take what's hard. Now, that's not to say hard work alone will make you succeed. You have to work smart too, but that should be where your business plan comes in. Business owners are faced with challenges all the time, and financial pressures can beat you down and choke you up. This has happened to me previously a couple years ago. These pressures can get so bad where you want to quit. Believe me, I've wanted to quit how many times, but the harder you work to build your business, the less likely you are to give into the pressure. Hard work builds character, and strong character makes strong leaders and strong business people. But don't be stupid about it either. One of your top goals in working hard to achieve success should be able to provide for your quality of life. Being in business isn't about having the freedom to enjoy your life. Becoming a slave is going against the ultimate purposes that you want to fulfill. Be smart about it. Make sure you leave times for other areas of your life that are important, such as family, friends, and your faith. Which leads to point number 3, cut to the chase. So you've got a smart business plan and you're working hard. But in business, at times, it may feel like you're just running around like a headless chicken. Mobsters like to keep things simple, and they have a saying that they want to cut to the chase. Eliminate the clutter and get straight to the point. If your business plan lists out your goals, you want to get to them with as little friction as possible. Michael describes the billionaire Warren Buffett's routine. Buffett himself does not run around like a headless chicken. He wakes up in the morning, he goes to the office, he doesn't answer no emails, he doesn't answer no calls, he stays in his circle of competence, which for him is by buying and selling stock. Not by replying and answering emails. He has created a structure within his business that still allows him to have control of it without having to be in a manic state all the time and having to stress about the little things. This is what is meant by cut to the chase. You trying to micromanage every little detail of the business and being stressed all the time will actually negatively set you back on your goals. When you're in these times, just slow down and take a breath. Eliminate the clutter and get back on track with the original business plan, and don't operate your business in a state of panic. We all know shit happens in business all the time, but that's business, and as a business owner, you need to take action when this does happen. But by cutting to the chase and slowing down and simplifying the problem, you can quickly and efficiently solve it. And the last point I'm going to make is, you got to have a crew. You are only as good as the people that you have around you. To succeed in business, it's imperative that you assemble the right crew to support your efforts. Assembling a good crew is the best way to prove to yourself that you are an intelligent leader, and it gives you a better chance of executing your plan. Now, Michael says the 3 of the biggest core values members of your crew should have are being capable, being reliable, and most importantly, being honest. I'm sure you've heard the saying, do what you do best and delegate the rest. And this also relies on how you structure your business. All Mafia or La Cosa Nostra families have a structure or organization of some sort, exactly like a company. In a Mafia family, you have your associates, then you have your soldiers, then you have your capo or captain or capo regime, then you have your underboss, and finally you have the boss. And as you can see, each person in the family has a significant position and certain power within the family and certain responsibilities. This structure takes a lot of stress off the boss's head and allows him to essentially do his job, which is essentially, like a CEO, run the company, but in this case it's run the family. And another key person Michael suggests that you should have in your crew is what is known as a consigliere. This is the Italian word for advisor or counselor. The consigliere is an official position in the Mafia and it's essentially the boss's trusted advisor. Every person with power has a consigliere, from presidents to CEOs. This person should be a fair and impartial advisor. For example, Warren Buffett's consigliere is most likely Charlie Munger. The key attributes a consigliere should have is they should know the ins and outs of your business so they can form a relevant opinion. They can be trusted to give advice in the best interest of your business and not in the form of their own personal ambition and greed. And he or she will also stand up to you when he or she feels you are not acting in the best interest of the business. They are your safeguards to your own short-sightedness, so it's best to get one and use them to the max. So to wrap it all up, point number 1, have a clear, focused, written plan for your business with measurable specific outcomes and the route you'll take to get there. Point number 2 is, if you think you can achieve success in business without putting in the time, you better buy yourself some nice pajamas, because people who have achieved great success in their business endeavors take what they do seriously and work hard to make it happen. Point number 3 is get to your business goals with as little friction as possible. Don't let your head clutter block you from reaching your goals. Putting off what you can do right now for tomorrow is a recipe for disaster. And point number 4 is assemble the right crew to support your efforts. Capable, reliable, and most importantly, honest people. Get a consigliere too who is a fair and impartial person but won't be up your arse either. A person who will tell you when you are in the wrong as well. And that's it for now. There's plenty more ideas and strategies for me to break down. So if you want more of these Mafia mob business strategy type videos, make sure you leave a like on this video and let me know if I should continue this series by commenting below what was your biggest takeaway from the video. And if this is your first time visiting the channel, welcome to the channel, and to all our loyal subscribers, we are glad you are here. We aim to produce at least 2 videos every single week. So make sure you subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on any golden knowledge. And I'll see you soon. Fucking hell, I sound more like Mario than an Italian mobster. Oh, I crap myself up. And guys, I'll see you soon.